Hi Vinod.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello. Hi. Welcome to a brand new episode. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can. I'm been having some issues with my audio, but
Yeah, now
nonetheless,
I
I can
can hear.
hear you now.
Yeah, I think the preview had a problem, looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. The preview had a problem. Okay, great.
Is,
Hi guys.
is
Welcome
the
to another
video,
episode
is
of
the video better?
Prevailing.
Is the video better?
The video is a little blurry right now. Your video. Earlier, it was actually good.
Earlier was when?
Yeah. Now it is better.
Live?
Now it is good. Hello. Vinod, can you say something? I just want to make sure that we are able to capture whatever that you're saying.
Yes. Can you hear me, Karthik?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, that's cool. Is it all set streaming?
Yep, we are live right now. So let's just get started. I think Bhargavi is late, perennially late as as always, but hopefully she should join us soon. What's happening, Vinod? So how have you been?
I think, I think like most people, or like a lot of people, like in Bangalore, 1 in 35, I did catch the virus.
Yeah.
So, but I am back, after a couple of weeks in isolation. So, mild symptoms. I actually just freshened up for the freewheeling session. Otherwise, I was still looking like a Devdas.
This is so guys, this is the reason why we were not able to do this in the last 2 weeks, mainly because Vinod has fallen sick. Thankfully he has made a full recovery, and his wife too. Luckily the little ones did not contract it, and I think you did a good job with isolating yourself, right? Why don't you just give us some sense of the precautions that you have taken?
I think on the first sign of cold and sore throat, Karthik. I think I decided to isolate myself first, and in the next couple of days, realized my wife also had caught the infection, and I isolated her even before the test results kind of came through. I think that played a crucial part in not passing on the infection to more family members or anybody outside, and completely isolated immediately. I think that was critical. I think you should not wait for the test results to come. I think if you have any symptoms or any signs, isolate yourself, start taking the treatment as early as possible, and start getting your tests done, and consult a doctor immediately online. I used, I think I should call out, I used
Mm-hmm.
some of the startups like MFine, a very good job actually, and I used another startup, which we evaluated some months ago called Orange Health. Actually, they were also pretty prompt in the initial days. After that, they got a bit loaded. Two startups. Then I also used Apollo for a lot of my consultations. All these were pretty useful, and I think anybody who was willing to. I mean, I didn't have to ask a lot of people any questions, but post that, anybody who's asked me about how to get through this, I've been like talking to them and helping out, somebody in the portfolio also, just guiding, what can happen or what to just watch out for after the process. Yeah, that's been the thing. But look, at the end of the day, right, like 99% of the people seem to get well, right? But the biggest problem, right, people may say, 1% is the serious cases, and, fatality rate is like roughly 1.5% in India.
Mm-hmm.
The point is statistics, right, are easy, but when it happens to you or when it happens to your near dear ones, right, it's no more statistics, right? It's not about statistics. It's like somebody whom you know, somebody whom you care, somebody whom you love. I think then it becomes very difficult. So statistics don't
Yeah.
when it becomes very personal.
No,
Yeah.
also, even though it's just 1%, right? Like 1% in India is going to be like massively huge. which is what we are seeing across our healthcare system, right? It's unable to cope with the numbers of people who are falling sick and who are needing oxygen. But nonetheless, I think we are happy and glad that you guys are okay. You made a full recovery, and more importantly, the little ones are safe. Both the kids, right? It's what's happening with the vaccines, man. I've been hearing a lot of things. Government is going crazy about it's exposing the APIs to get the slots. There's like a new app that is coming up every day to track
Yeah.
vaccines.
Yeah. You could see my Twitter line, right? Me and Sai have been like, a big, literally, telling, what's happening, why and how techies are, cornering. I think it's a supply issue primarily, right? It's not that,
Yeah, yeah.
techies are using. It looks like an abuse simply because there are limited stocks, right? If there are enough stocks, enough vaccine centers, right, it wouldn't look like this. Actually, these tools will be very useful. If
Right.
it was not, yeah, the problem is we have to cross that point of where supply is not an issue, and currently you're fighting for scarce resources, and because the number of cases has gone up, right, vaccine hesitancy is turned into eventually vaccine anxiety of not getting vaccine. I mean, look at the turnaround,
Mm-hmm.
right? There was like a couple of weeks ago, right, so many slots open for 45 plus, and it was like
Yeah.
not getting filled. And now you have a situation where all slots getting filled in Bangalore, especially. I think the demand's been like crazy, especially as they opened up for 18 to 44. Actually, nobody is getting vaccinated in 18 to 44 range except for private hospitals, which are just two chains in Bangalore. Rest of them are not even providing you the vaccine. So I think all of us should just calm down, stay at home, wait for the supplies to come to some critical levels, and then I think all of us will get our turn to get vaccinated. But I think the priority group should get its due. 45 plus older folks should get, and maybe they should opened up in a phased manner, 35, 25, slowly, right? Maybe I'm just saying, but that could have also been a better option rather than just throwing the floodgates open. That's also because of pressure of every state government and people pressure on seeing that, right? Oh, open up vaccine! I want vaccine! I want vaccine! Right? At the end of the day, they opened up, but there are no vaccines. So it's like they gave in to the public pressure to open it up, but now it's a question of if you've been in India or heard about the stories pre-liberalization, right? If you book a BSNL telephone, right, it'll take you like 1 year. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
or the minimum 6 months at least, Karthik. Like I mean, by the time I got my telephone, it was like 2001 or something. That time it was slightly better. But I've
Wow.
heard like those crazy stories, right? Like you have to wait for months. Or if you book a Bajaj scooter, you have to wait for 2 years. If you book a Maruti car, wait for 3 years, right? Like
Phone is at least non-essential. Gas cylinders.
gas cylinders used to be at that time difficult to get the subscription in the first place. Forget getting the cylinders on time. Subscription used to be like it's like a prized possession if you had like a cylinder. This is the era, some 90s kids will be able to relate, like us, slightly older folks.
I have heard stories when families have fought for cylinder connection. Who's going to get after the parents? Like other assets.
You won't believe it had a pride in place. I remember when we got it in our house, right? It was pretty late only. I don't remember the dates, but my mom and my aunt, right, were so proud of it, saying, yes, we've achieved something, right? Now our life is going to look better. Seriousness of that conversation, right? Gravity of that, I realized pretty late. But they were like, yes, I'm tired of putting kerosene stoves and all those electric stoves, whatever we had, right? And then you go to the gas, which is seamless, better way of cooking, efficiency and all that. I think the world was very different for them. Now it's taken for granted. Similarly, I think in a vaccine situation is in the 80s and 90s, early 90s. Please wait, liberalization should happen in a couple of weeks or hopefully a couple of months. And I've been following closely all the news. So the Sputnik is arrived. Hopefully they start happening. Then there's phase 3 trials of Cadilla's, Cadilla's vaccine is also phase 3. We have Sputnik 1 also potentially. So Novavax potentially. I think, we are like 3-4 months away where we'll be flooded. The market might be flooded with a lot more options for all of us. Just we'll have to stay patient for a couple more months and stay home, stay put, stay safe, and then we'll get our vaccines, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think by June, July, we should expect some of this to change. But until then, I think it's extremely important that we all remain super
Yeah.
safe and be careful. Stay masked, right? Yada yada yada. Anyway, so moving on, Vinod, I think so. We've announced our next investment in a company called Upscale.ai. I think almost a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't really talked about it at length, right? I just want to put it up here. So why don't we just give a brief intro about this company and then why we invested in this. Also, we will likely bring the founders onto freewheeling maybe next week, right?
Yeah. So I think maybe we can do an elaborate one later, but I think in
Yeah,
simple terms,
briefly.
briefly, right? See, Upscale is founded by a team of second-time founders who've been at this before, and they've identified a key problem in the sales enablement and engagement space. How do you once you have an email inquiry, or when you run a campaign, right, posted, what happens, right? You need to convert them to customers, right? So Upscale's tooling is simply to make sure that you have the best tool in the market to convert a customer after they become a lead to a customer, right? And through the journey of that process, right, is the sales enablement or the sales engagement space, and that's what Upscale is doing. I think one of the reasons we were excited of this company, Karthik, as we had spoken to them, I think 6 months earlier, we had an early conversation with the founders, and then we had a repeat conversation, and I think we were like interested in second time founders. Hopefully they'd get the market right. We believed in that kind of story also in this company. And on day one, they are looking at like it as a global market. They've gone, looking at that as a global story. So this is typically, building for the world from India SaaS story, and that's Upscale. Great to be partnered with GSF and Powerhouse Ventures and some prominent angels also who are a part of this round. Happy to announce this, and anybody who wants to have connects or talk to the founders of Upscale, feel free to ping us. Hopefully, next week we'll have them live on Freewheeling. Yeah. And what are you doing? You've been cooking up, and you and Bhargavi, seem to have cooked up a lot of stuff when I was not around for like a couple of weeks in isolation. And you seem to have cooked up a lot of stuff. Okay, maybe
we made Vinod give a blind commit, true blind commit.
We forced you, or strong-armed you into doing a deal. That is the I think we took full advantage of COVID, right? We exhausted you to saying yes.
Yeah, kind of. I would say I would agree. Yeah, I had to give in, I think.
So on the other side,
what's the other cooking, Karthik? I'm more excited about the other cooking that you guys have done. I know it was planned, but I couldn't be part of that. But that's like job well done, actually, more than well done. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when you're gone, the entire responsibility has fallen on our shoulders. And clearly Bhargavi and I, we kicked it out of the ballpark. So what we've been really busy with, like those 2 weeks, right? One thing, obviously the deals that we were doing and getting the work done. Hopefully, we should announce one more deal soon. In fact, with the wiring is happening right now as we speak. But beyond that, I think we were also super busy with expanding our team. Um, so we primarily we have not hired any full-time people before, but this time we thought let's bring in some interns and work with us for a few months
I think we
because
didn't mention it that we are looking for interns in our last freewheeling whenever
we
we
did
got it.
not. Yeah. We did not. And I think I don't know what are the reasons why we did not mention. I cannot think of a reason. Right? It just
We mentioned is what I'm saying. We said we are looking for interns. We asked people to apply. Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for reminding me and refreshing my memory as always, Bhargavi. I didn't realize that we mentioned, but yeah, great. So we have two new interns that we have hired while you're gone, Vinod. Perfect timing. So we would like to introduce both the guys today. But before we do the introduction, right? I think it's strange. Suddenly there was a deluge of resumes coming to my inbox. Bhargavi is yours. There's a lot of people who expressed interest. It's this space, right? The VC investment space remains as attractive as it is. When we did it, in a way, for Vinod and I, it's like paid forward, right? We have gotten into venture capital through a fellowship program at a leading fund, and then we sort of wanted to do something similar. And it's great when we have interns, right? And Bhargavi has had a long experience with interns before in her previous companies as well, where she hired and groomed a lot of interns, right? Great. So without any further ado, I'm super excited to introduce Tejas Shajapurkar. I'm sure I butchered your last name, Tejas, and Sanket Panda. Welcome to
Yeah, it's
Freewheeling, guys.
completely right.
All
Yeah.
right. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Tejas, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So
Just
yeah,
tell us what you've been doing before, why you were interested in the VC space, and I think this is your first week, right? I think we're pretty much done on week one. So
yeah.
just explain what has been happening in week one and how great we are. Okay.
So yeah, sure. Didn't need that last part. Yeah. So yeah, uh, for me, right, I'm currently a third year pursuing my BTech at NIT Trichy in chemical engineering. And as with all engineers in IITs and NITs, there are some people who just find it better to work on places of their interest. For me, it was consulting and finance, right? And having worked in companies like EY and Redseer, VC was just a space that excited me all the time because it was either working with startups or somehow it was related to creativity and new idea innovation, which just attracted me. And that's how I found Java Capital through one of my friends who actually started his own company, right? And yeah, so that's just been my experience. And the first week here, to be completely honest, was overwhelming, right? And it was in a good way because there was so much knowledge to absorb, there was so much reading to do, there was so many experience to learn, right? And I think this will go on forward. And the amount of learning I've done in 1 week, I think it was not possible for me to do it alone in 2 months. So yeah, that's been my initial experience.
Check, Tejas. Sanket.
Yeah, hi guys. So I'm Sanket. So before coming to Java Capital, I interned 6 months at an incubator called Global Incubation Services. And I found Java Capital because Vinod was at an event of TIE. So I was also attending that. I was got an invite for that. And I saw that Vinod is there and he was giving these ideas and pitches. So I had very much interest in going into VC. That is the reason I came to Bangalore in the first place with the incubator. And I started cold mailing people, like cold mailing a VC's IC or whatever information I have. So on one cold mail, fortunately, I didn't expect anything from Java Capital, but then Bhargavi just replied to me that, oh, hey, we are not looking for the full timers, but we do have an internship position open. So if you're interested, then we can ping in. So that was, I guess, on April 1st or 2nd week. And then they took an interview in the 3rd week and I got hired. So before, I am currently graduating from IIIT Bhubaneswar. I'm in my 4th year and completing that. This month I'll be graduating from IIIT Bhubaneswar. And before this incubation and the Java space, I was working with Red Bull for a year. I started ESET in my college at IIIT Bhubaneswar. So that was the first experience in entrepreneurship. After starting ESEL, I started going into the Bhubaneswar ecosystem with various stakeholders like My Startup Yatra, TiE Bhubaneswar, Kit TBI, STPI, and from there the whole journey of entrepreneurship started. And it just hit me so much that I, I didn't sit for the campus placements even. I just came that I just wanted to be in the ecosystem here, and I think Java Capital has been wonderful till now. As Tejas told, the 1 week has been overwhelming with knowledge. So this much knowledge we got. I didn't know a lot of things before, but I think all three of them, Karthik, Vinod, and Bhargavi, have been practically hand-holding us uh, and teaching us in the moment regarding the concepts, regarding how to take decisions and where and what. So I think it has been a wholesome experience. We have got the first pitch experience, we have got the evaluation experience, we have got the knowledge, and definitely we both, me and Tejas, look forward to these 3 months to garner as much as knowledge as possible.
All right. Thank you so much, Sanket. I think that's great. Sanket, I think we're getting a little bit of noise on you, and I'm just gonna mute you. Yeah, it's definitely you. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but whenever you want to speak, right, I'll unmute you so we don't hear the buzz, right? But yeah, I mean, great, man. I think that's been a great introduction, both of you guys. Um, I think all I wanted to say is this 1 week, right? I was actually really skeptical, how much time we will have to spend, because it's also a responsibility on our end, right? Like, we want to make sure that you also find this time valuable and worth your while, right? So we've been working hard on coming up with like various projects that will interest you, that will excite you, in addition to the boring ones that might they're like necessary evil kind of projects, right? But so far, you guys have been doing a terrific job, and thank you so much for really being very excited, and whenever we text you, right, no matter what time it is, you guys respond. And I know you guys have been putting some extra hours and finishing up work, which is always a great indicator of the level of interest that you guys have in the space. So super excited to have you guys on.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I wanted to tell one thing, right? We actually had a lot of resume, and me and Karthik, I think we blocked out like 1.5 days of our time. We were just talking to people back to back, and it was not an easy decision. But one thing with respect to Tejas is how we finalized is he surprised us with a presentation on Java Capital, and just with the data available in public domain. So I think for people who are looking to clearly break the mold and stand out, I think it's a great way. Yeah, good job, Tejas. So Sanket came with some background in the space, but I think Tejas was quite new. So we spoke to a lot of people who were quite new, didn't come with prior background or experience. So I think that edge, you had an edge there when you surprised us with the presentation.
Yeah. So I had no role to play in recruiting any of you guys. So I'm just happy that, right, I can just assign work. But awesome, guys. Good to have you guys. It's first time for us also having interns. It's been just the three of us for almost a year now. We've been doing everything. So now it actually feels a little, I would say, a little bit relaxing. I don't know about Karthik or Bhargavi. I just feel maybe we have a little more support. It just feels good that there is more support than what we had previously, which is good. I look forward to working with you all, and hopefully, this turns into something really useful for you all also. Yeah.
No, for sure, Vinod, because when you were down, right, for the 2 weeks, I think we did feel the pinch, right? And even when you were there, right, we've been thinking about,
Correct.
trying to expand and see, because it's just a lot of work in terms of not just talking to founders, meeting them, evaluating companies, etc. Right, but also there's a lot of back end stuff that goes on, which takes its own time and effort to do it, and you always need to be on your A game, right? Whether it is 11 at the night or 6 in the morning. So yeah, it's been a challenge. So hopefully the next 3 months we'll get a break, and well, we shouldn't get used to it though, right? Great.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, then, Karthik. Right. Thanks, Tejas. Thanks, Ankit.
Thank you guys for joining us. You're free to drop off if you guys want to say anything else. Just jump right in.
Oh no, nothing for now. Just thanks for this experience, and I hope it will be as great as it is for us. Like we're just hoping to contribute. That's it. We didn't come in with
Yeah.
very good expectation. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
the
bring
experience
you
has
guys
been
back
really
in after a couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll
Yeah.
guys bring you after 3 months back on the show and see how was the experience.
Maybe in between as well, right? Just to give a
Yeah.
just to
An
add some
update.
masala in between. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. You could also organize something. I'm absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you for calling us in the show today. It was amazing to be a part of Freewheeling Fridays. I think I even mentioned it in my interview that we'll do something with the freewheeling, but didn't expect
You
this,
did.
to
You
be
did.
honest. Just
Awesome,
look
guys.
forward to
Yeah.
contributing more.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome, Karthik. Yeah.
That
I don't
was
know. Maybe there's a sense of a little bit of a relief. I don't know, right? When when you assign work and they are able to get it done, right? Like I'm like super happy. I know. I hope they are listening.
No comments, okay? I'm not going to comment and pour oil into all this.
no, but I think look, this is these guys, right? I think they're great find. One thing that I just wanted to mention was when we were reviewing, right? There are people from across the spectrum, right? People who had like 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience, right? Who are willing to put their time aside and work on this. It's just amazing the kind of candidates that we received, and we were actually open to it, right? Even if somebody is a little older, we interviewed them and see if it really makes sense, and if they could get enough value from it, and so on and so forth.
Karthik, you remember we were one of the oldest folks somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I can very much relate to it, right?
Yeah.
But I think the key, is not to have the egos, right? I think, when we were doing it, we were prepared to do everything, right? There are, like I said, the Excel sheets that we worked on, some of the non-glamorous things that we worked on,
No, I
but
remember there was one funny joke about bathroom duties. I don't know if you remember this joke.
I do very fondly.
So somebody had to man the restroom for guests. That was part of the problem.
Yeah. There was no mad rush for that though.
Yeah. Bhargavi is like, these guys are going nuts now.
Bhargavi is like totally dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
She was the one assigning the bathroom duties. Never to do one.
No, but I don't know what you guys are cribbing about, okay? Because ISB, there are multiple events, and sometimes they want students to travel all the way to airport to pick up guests and come back just to give them company, right? And actually, one of my very good friend landed a private equity job because he traveled in a car with a very big shot in a private equity, and he could convert a job just because of that.
Bhargavi, that's outstanding for that guy. Imagine if somebody can convert a job standing in the restroom. I just couldn't hold on to telling that.
Oliver, hey, give me a job. Only then I'm going to let you.
And we always used to make one guy do this more often than others. Everybody has the same guy in mind.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I think that's an interesting anecdote. I think airport pickups maybe works. I think people should think wherever you could bring
Airport pickups, escorting guests from
guests,
one hotel to another place.
Yeah. I think all that was part of the scheme, Bhargavi. So it was fun doing. I mean, I don't think so. We looked up on it anytime. Actually, I don't think so. All of us were like, we had to do. Sometimes you have to do things, right? Like it's not like you can pass it on to somebody else. Say you do it.
And I think we took it in a stride.
Yeah. I think if you treat it as like if it was your own thing, you would do that, right? And if you take that ownership, right, then you wouldn't really think, right? Is it bathroom duties or it's an airport pickup or go to a hotel and pick up? I've done that also, like pretty much, and I remember that. So I think then you don't feel, look, you're doing it, you're with your own ownership. Then you kind of put that. I think giving ownership was critical. I think that sometimes we did enjoy that, ownership, a lot more freedom. You could do a lot of things if you really wanted to, in a way. Yeah. And I think, here also I see that, right? I mean, we're working as a team with the interns and, it's very informal still, it's not like a super formal way. It's like almost they are freewheeling and learning at the same time, which is good, I think. It's kind of good, augurs well, hopefully, in the long run as a culture also. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that was a lot of freewheeling and marketing for somebody else.
Yeah, I think yeah. We have great respect, Bhargavi, for people who've given us something.
I know. Yeah.
So great, guys. Anything else you want to add? I think we're still a little rusty. We haven't done it for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Karthik, I think one thing I did right in the isolation, I read a couple of books. So I finished.
Oh, nice.
I finished Masala Labs by Krish Ashok. I should put that out. Krish has been pretty good. This is the one.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, Krish should be happy to talk to us. I think I pinged him once on Twitter, and maybe we can bring him as a guest. Interesting book on saying the science of cooking. Not just I like to cook once in a while, not like every day. I like weekends typically, and he talks about what goes on. Beyond just recipes, right? It's not about the recipes, right? There's a small little process, and I think he talks about that. It's an interesting book, to look. That's a shout out to Krish Ashok and Masala Labs, and it's a book that you want to read again, frankly. Yeah, and great. I got this at a decent sale price, I think. And I also started Good to Great, Karthik. That's my current read on the table.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is something which you gave. That's on the table. Then, the Tamil Nadu elections, I went and picked the old book from this. I've read this before, and in isolation, right? My wife was also interested to read, so I was also glancing through. I'd read this before. There is one statement, right? It just struck me. I want to actually read out, Karthik. You won't believe such a statement can actually be made. Okay, and this is like, and actually, my wife also pointed out, can you make such a statement? Maybe the era is very different, Karthik. You should see it in that context, okay? Don't take offense or anything, whoever is watching this. So he talks about, right, it's the thing where it says, it's not uncommon for leading personalities to have lady companions. Rumors about an affair, probably platonic, between Nehru and Mountbatten was very much in the air, even though mentioned in books and articles by eminent authors. Okay, this is a book about M.G. Ramachandran. Okay, written by his intelligence chief at that time. And he says, even mentioned in books and articles by others, Japanese Prime Minister openly see geisha girls. Okay, we don't know the truth. Okay, I'm just reading this out. Okay, I'm not justifying this or putting MGR in this category. But what I'm trying to convey is that the standards of morality have changed with times. Top businessmen, politicians, officials, professionals lead a tension-filled life. Okay, just mark this. Okay, often working for 18 hours a day. So relaxing in the company of women after a hard day's work is a preference of some. And I personally feel that it would be uncharitable if we grudge these small pleasures to whom I may call the winners of life. Idlers may float scandals with or without basis, but these are born out of jealousy or competition. Okay, I mean, this
Oh my
right,
God.
this is like absolutely scandalous paragraph, and my wife, like she showed it to me. It's like she asked
You know,
if we
this
can
is
work.
I am flabbergasted. Okay, after listening to that.
Yeah,
Was it
absolutely.
published
I want to
in like
read the book
some
now. I'm
70s
like,
or 80s,
oh,
or
what
was
else
it?
is there in the book? I want to read it.
No,
No, no,
there's
but
another.
the author editorializing, right? This is as if this is a normal thing to do, and sort of like normalizing it and
Exactly.
explaining it away, right? That is shocking.
Yeah, and this was published in 1992. Okay, just that is a time context, and
Oh, it was published
Not
in
very
1992.
old. 1992 is not old.
correct. See, I think M.G. Ramachandran passed away in 84, 85, if I'm right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then this book was written somebody very close to him. A
I
lot
think it may be more representative of the thoughts process back in the day,
yeah,
right? I think a lot has changed since the Me Too movement, man.
yeah. No, this
Things are
is
dramatically changed in the last 4 or 5 years.
absolutely scandalous statements, Karthik. This has another one also, right? You won't believe the amount of. It didn't. First time when I read, I didn't recall all of this. Right?
What's the book?
This is a book called The Man and the Myth. MGR, The Man and the Myth. Okay, by.
That paragraph might be a myth.
It could be you. There's another anecdote, right? Which just caught again my wife's attention. His favorites, all from the film world, came in succession, but there was only one second wife at a time. It seems. Okay, he was very possessive about his lady companions, as they were living personality, and decency reminds that I mention them as A, B, C, D, E, as far as I know. That's even more scandalous, but only one at a time. Like,
Oh my God.
so this book, right, is like, I mean, look, he's a cult personality I mean, he had built that personality. It was cultivated, it is not the real who he is. This book at least gives you a sense of, what the reality is. And I mean, it is scandalous to a great extent. I think if somebody writes today anything like this, right, I think the book would be like just thrown out, not published, is my view, almost. So, but it was published, and this is an old copy I picked up long ago, like 10, 15 years ago. And rereading sometimes, changes your context. I don't know what, when I read that, I don't even remember these. Now when I reread it, this looked like totally scandalous book at some level. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're wading into a controversial topic, right? The thought that popped into my mind is how could somebody publish something like this in early 90s, while it is it's not even imaginable that they could publish it right now, in this world that we're living in.
Yeah.
And I think the answer to that question that came to my mind was social media. Ironically, social media is supposed to make freedom of speech simpler, right, and more accessible. Uh, because of the fear that something like this would become viral and catch fire online. There's a
Yeah.
lot of self-censorship,
Yeah.
and also others, right? Publishing companies, taking a second view on putting out anything controversial. Very, very strange times that we are living in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we put out enough scandalous stuff by now. Nobody lynches me for this. Yeah.
Okay, but tell me why you're reading that book.
No, actually, like because me and my wife was in isolation, she started reading, and I was like, okay, let me also do a reread. And look, I'm like a very silent follower of politics, both national and also what's happening, typically in Karnataka, or for that matter even in Tamil Nadu, right? Even though I don't keenly try and beat my chest, because I do follow them, what's happening. I tend to read a bit here and there. That's the reason I read this long ago. When my father and my uncle are fans of this man. And then there's an anecdotal story. So this is true. This is not myth at my house, right? My uncle has the two-leaf symbol on his hand, which is tattooed.
Oh, like tattooed.
Yeah. Look, people are born in Karnataka. Both my dad, my uncle are born in Karnataka, but they were following Tamil Nadu's politics closely. And when I was born, apparently, the first couple of years. So my dad, when MGR died, he actually, went and tried to go to Chennai and tried to see him. So, but they blocked all buses, everything, and he had to then return. And he went off to my native without telling anybody. And there's no telephone, nothing, right? How do you get to know he's reached where? Because there's a lot of violence in the state at that time. So for the next 2-3 weeks, right, a week or so, nobody knew where my father was, literally.
Wow.
So then, a slow snail mail arrives from my aunt because he's gone and, he's in my village. From there, he's taken a diversion and gone there. Everybody from his party or like his friends, returned to Bangalore. So like there is such a story in the family. So.
Nice.
So not reason enough to read such books in some way. Yeah.
Great, man. That's amazing. I'm just trying to think, what is the most exciting thing that has happened to my family? Nothing comes close to that.
That's not exciting.
I think we waved at Rajiv Gandhi, when he was going past in a convoy. Probably that's the most exciting thing that has ever happened.
So I went and saw Abdul Kalam twice, when I was in college. That was some
nice.
aspiration to see. I never, kind of chased idols or wanted to see any of them, right? Including, right, when we were at the previous job also, right?
Yeah.
I never got like, enamored by anybody. I think except for him, I'm like largely, really not thought, look, you become a celebrity worth talking to. Don't go and chase them, right? In a way.
Right.
So
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bhargavi is like, these guys are talking so much,
She's like, did they wake me up for this?
Yeah. No, I think.
Anyway, I decided today less talking time.
No, I want to meet only one personality, Karthik. That's Rajnikant in person. That's it. And
Really? Why?
I don't know. I mean, just like I said, I met Abdul Kalam. Maybe just meet him once, say hi, nothing more, literally. So yeah, and nobody else, frankly.
And maybe ask him to anchor the fun.
Open invitation.
Yeah. No, I think this exposes so much of our personality to the world. You should send all the freewheeling Friday videos to LPs. They'll just transfer money directly to the bank accounts, guys.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or maybe not.
I mean, what more DD do you need to do?
Yeah. It's all out.
Everything is out here.
Yeah, it's out open. Yeah, I mean, you really want to know us? Here it is. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Ah.
Vinod, anything else caught your eye while you were in your retreat?
While in the retreat, I think that Tiger's articles, I think that was very interesting on Tiger strategy, right, by Everett Randall. I think that was an interesting article. That should read, and he did a podcast with Jason. I want to listen to that. I've not listened to it, but that also is an interesting one to listen to, I think. And what other things been catching my eyes is 3D printing of homes. I don't know why. Last couple of weeks, 3D printing of homes. IIT Madras, they did one, and I saw a few more happening in other countries. Maybe the future is there, in 3D printing of homes. Could be. So that just caught my feed. Otherwise, I think all of us have heard of COVID struggles left, right, and center on the Twitter timeline. So been doing whatever I could do. I think we should do a lot more is my sense. Maybe something that we've discussed we should do. We should try and see what else can we do.
Yeah, so I did make a personal donation. I think
Awesome.
you guys have also done something similar. Yeah, this is the time. I think the least that we could do is that, right? But it's very scary, man. I haven't stepped out of my apartment. It's almost been like a month now.
Yeah. I think,
Crazy times we're living in.
yeah. I think we'll try and see what more to do. The other thought that's been crossing my mind, Karthik, I think more than what you do now, right? There'll be effect of this, right? I think today everybody will come to help. I think in a year down the line, there'll be so many more people, be it doctors, nurses, policemen, so many people, right? They would have lost people in their families. I think long term, there could be even more things to do if whoever is there to do. I think that is also another thing that's been crossing my mind. I'm not sure what to do yet, but that's the thought that's been crossing. This is for the immediate, but something in the long term also would matter a lot, I think.
Yeah. True. And also by the time we'll get the new capital complex also, which is absolutely needed.
Yeah, Karthik. Now I think I think Bhargavi is like, okay, I think we've made it to enough now.
Something else.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think it's a wrap.
Thank you.
We'll see you back, We'll see you again next week. Take care, guys. Be safe.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.